Good morning, Tesla family. Right now, I'm going to show you how to properly take care of a Tesla Model 3. Well, this extra time now, I realized might as well use this to take care of my car. And there's a few products I'm going to show you that I use. First of all, I use the Wolfgang products. I use this on all my other vehicles, BMWs I used to own. Now I just own Tesla, so that's kind of the products I stuck with. And one thing I would like to mention regarding that is that this is a total swirl remover. So I'm going to show you, if you have deep swirl marks, which I use from typically washing the cars, removal, that kind of stuff, you want to use this. Now, Wolfgang also have an Uber all-in-one, and what this does is basically a mild product of the total swirl remover, and also has a cleaning agent, and you can read it on there, and then also lastly basically a sealant on top of that. So it's all in one. So what I do is, if I do find an area that is really bad, I'll use the total swirl remover, and then followed by the Uber all-in-one, and then the deep gloss paint sealant 3.0. This is actually pretty good. It gives you a really nice shine. It'll last you over almost a year, especially if you have it garaged. If you have it outside all the time, it might be only about 6 months. So it depends on also on your weather. Another thing is, you realize is that there are 3 pads. There'll be an orange one, a white one, and red or black. These are very soft. If you feel that it's very hard, medium, and very, very soft. And this is basically, this is for polishing. This is for, medium polishing. So if you have something that needs a lot of swirl mark, you use this. Then the white, if it's, you don't want a high cutting area. And then this is at the end. They have a black one version. I use the red. It's pretty similar. And with that, you will actually just to apply the sealant at the end. And what I use is a Porter cable, and I'll show you right here. So I got it facing up, and I use the orange with the total all-in-one Uber, and Porter cable makes one. Flex is another one. It's actually Flex is a little bit better, but at the time I ended up buying Porter cable because that's all I can find. And what it does is, and I'm going to exaggerate this, instead of a typical old style, and here this is the Porter cable. It's 7424 XP. And there's a Flex makes one, which is a little bit better than this. And I usually use it a 9 setting. I lower it down to like 6 when I'm doing the actual last step, which is the deep paint sealant. But one big difference between this and the circular, regular circular, this is an orbiter. So just to exaggerate, a typical orbiter, what it does is it kind of does like almost like an S turn inside here, so it doesn't leave any swirl marks, and that's very important. You're not going to use just a typical circular one. It just does circle. This actually is offset. You can't see it in there, but if you take that pad off, you'll notice it's offset. So it's actually, it's not a complete circle, so it's more like an oval shape, and that's what you want to use for polishing the vehicle. So, and I'm going to show you next what you want to look for. See what you want to do and looking for swirl marks. Look at it, you see it has a lot of watermarks, some streaks on it. And if I zoom right in there, I'm using a flashlight with LED flashlight, which is better to see. You can see that it's not perfectly clean when it comes to like water spots. And I'm moving it all the way around. So today I'm going to use the all-in-one because it's not really bad. It's just the water spots. And if it was really bad, like a black paint, you'll notice a lot even more. You'll probably use the swirl remover followed by the Uber. Yeah, you can see most of the parts over here. And then, if I take out the flashlight, you look at it, oh, well, it looks clean, right? Shiny, no stuff. But this is what we're gonna do. And just to see the part right here where I'm doing it. And then I'm gonna go over with the flashlight, and then you're gonna see the difference. a couple tips that I'm gonna give you regarding this. Once you spread it onto the pad, and you don't want to do that. So you want to place it on it and spread it, and do about let's say about a foot at a time. You just want to spread it around before you start it. And while you're working on it, you do not want to like lift it off the paint while it's spinning, because it's gonna get splattered similar to what you happen here all over the place. So you want to stop it while it's still on the paint and then lift it up. So, and the pattern you want to go to, and I'm going to show you. Basically, you want to do is side to side, overlaying flat, and arm it down. You want to do this about 6 times. That should work. You just punch a little bit up, clean the paint, the rag, and see if there's all the floor marks. If that won't work, you'll do it again. And next time you might need like 4 times, go up and down. I'll keep working on it, and I'll finish this up. Alright, so I'm going to repeat it because I know it's loud, just in case you have trouble understanding me. So you want to basically go up and down, just basically up and down, and you know, about a 2 foot square, about a foot square, back and forth, and about, that's 1 time. So go in this direction and then over to left to right, that consider 1 pass. So you gotta do that about 6 times. And once you're done, you clean it up and see, you know, what you have. Make sure you remove all the scratches that you saw. Example of a microfiber towel, there's many of them. I get them at Auto Geek. You want to get a good quality one, very soft on both sides, and they're very nice. Well, that's about the area you want to do at a time if you look at the microfiber. So that spot, and then you move up, another spot. And I haven't cleaned it yet, and I'm going to work on it now, buff it out, clean it, and let you know what it looks like. All right, so here it is, the product. If you can see all these areas that was all watermarks, you can see the reflection of the flashlight, how much nicer it is. So, and that took about 6 tries of mine. And I do the whole entire vehicle. I do the glass, I do the lenses, on the front, the roof, entire, 100%. And I even put the sealant, the whole entire thing too. What it does is water beats off of it, flies off easily, doesn't leave any watermarks. All right, thanks for watching Tesla Fam. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And I'll be posting the product links at the bottom of the page. On one compound, and it looks very nice. I think even more shiny than when I got it from the factory. But anyhow, but I'm gonna go ahead and to give it another layer of protection, use the deep gloss paint sealant, and there's instructions at the back of it. You have to wait 45 minutes before you wipe it off, and so forth. But anyhow, so time for a break, and then apply the deep gloss paint sealer. And I use the same with the Porter cable, it's just gonna be using a different pad. I already swapped the pad on there. Got the red pad on, which is much softer. And I'm gonna use that to spread the compound. And this time you don't need to do 6 passes. All you do is just go once across it and just cover it as quickly as you can. And you don't need to do it at 9 speed either. You can lower it down to like 4 or 5. And you're just gonna, it's just like applying wax with your hand. You're not trying to remove any imperfection. Now you're just trying to polish it with a paint sealant to make it glossy. All right, so starting to work on the actual hood, and just to see how fast it's going to be when you're using the deep paint sealant. You don't have to like go like 6 times like the other process. This one, all you do is just go pretty fast, and I'll show you, just so you can get some idea. I'm doing like the whole hood is going once around. So when you're spraying the actual sealant, it's actually pretty fast. So it's going to take you probably about 10 to 15 minutes at the most to do the whole car. And I just did the whole hood. And what? 30 seconds. I wait 45 minutes just to make sure the sealant dries out. You don't want to do it outdoors. There's a procedure too. You want to make sure that after you do the sealant, your vehicle is going to remain in the garage, preferably overnight. So make sure that it cures, because you don't want any rain or any water on it touching the paint while it dries, and that usually could take up to 24 hours. All right, so wait 45 minutes. I'll come back and I will remove the paint sealant, and then I'll be done. I'll show you a finished product. Here it is, the completed project. All right, thanks again for watching Tesla Fam, and enjoy the rest of your day.